in collective knowledge!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, trees and non-binaries, Adam of the hostile atmosphere, and look, we are bound in clockwork. Something a little side project I made myself. I'm quite proud of it. Taking away as we are somewhere new in the card game zone today. Oh yes, we are weaving in the sky. Skyweaver's a fairly new game that I'm part of the beta for. New game by Ethereum blockchain. It's a very ambitious project that a lot of very indie developers have decided to put their hands to. I'm very interested in it because it has the most in-depth and complicated card game deck building process that I think I've ever seen, but it's also technically the simplest. Just take a little hop over to my card collection here. I've not been doing very much, but there's been scope for things here and there. Here we go. There are two different ways of sourcing cards. There's like a category for all cards, which is the prisms that they all fit into, which is sort of like their colours in Magic, or their regions in Runeterra: strength, wisdom, agility, heart, and intellect. Then you sort them further down into their elements: air, dark, earth, fire, light, metal, mind, and water. All of the 8 elements can be found in all 5 of the prisms, but the 5 prisms are very clearly distinct. There are certain synergies applied where you play certain other different prisms in a deck, or certain elements to trigger the other things of the same layer or the same element, but the elements can go into all the prisms, but not all the prisms can go into elements. It's a lot, I grant you, but the way it works out is you see how some of these have this symbol here. Obviously the mana cost is the same, and units have power of attack and defense power and toughness power and health, what have you. Some of them don't. These are the units and these are the spells. The little atom symbol here means it's of the mind, the intellect prism, but it's a light type spell, as you've got another intellect light, but then again you've got heart light, mind units, and strength. So there's every card will have a prism and an element that makes them so that you can play as many elements as you want. It's not like a limiting thing in Magic, but you can only stick to certain prisms in the deck. As you play certain units to them, they have either enchantments, which are ongoing magical effects, like Glacier, which is a guard which helps defend you and means that they have to attack into it before they can attack into your guy. The combat is all directional and you attack into units, sort of like Hearthstone. Enchantments are ongoing effects that stay there, whereas spells are like actual spell cards that come with the unit. So Ivy, a 2/2 with Wither, which is sort of like literally Wither in Magic. The damage she deals makes the enemy shrink a bit. The spells on them, you pay the mana and you can play that as if it were a spell attached to the unit, which I think is a quite interesting mechanic as well. Another important thing to note about the way that this game is played is that it is entirely singleton. When you build your decks, you only put one of each card in your deck, and no more. So once you have a card, that's it. It's in your collection forever and can go into all of your decks. So as you can see, I have like dragons and gods and demons and things, but not very much as of yet. But that's fine, because the way we're going to play right now is the Discovery game mode. With Constructed, you build a deck from scratch, and I will leave a link to Skyweaver Leagues in the description below, a new website that actually puts like top tier and hyper well performing decks across all the prisms and prism combinations for those who want to try and like match up with this. But Discovery plays a deck with randomized cards. You pick your prisms, you pick a pair of prisms or a singular prism together, and the game will generate a deck for you, whether or not the cards are in your collection, and then it's crisp and ready to go. I've been trying to get to that, and I'm sort of like in the mid-level rankings, I think. Yeah, I'm an apprentice. I'm making my way up into apprentice and recruit. I don't have any strong constructed decks yet, but as time goes on and we bring more Skyweaver to the channel, I think that is likely to change. There's still quite a bit of time, and I've been playing this since August last year, when I was finally able to get my beta code, because this game is still in beta. The only way to get in is with invite codes from the game itself or from people who are already playing. I've included a couple people, and there might be a chance for little old you viewers to be able to join me here in the Skyweaver, but Yeah. The really cool thing is, I love the art style and the art direction in this game. They've been able to put a lot of really interesting, like, sci-fantasy flavor into the cards as a whole, and you see the prisms here. Strength, which is very much like Noxus or Green in Magic, just like high, beefy guys just punching in, whereas Agility's very much like Red in Magic, and has some similarities to like Ionia or faster Noxus or Piltover and Zorn, that you can really get in and just be quite aggressive quite quickly. All of the prisms, because when you play a deck, you either choose a mono prism or a prism pair. Each one has an avatar or a character sort of attached to it, and I would love to see like an animated series or something with these characters and the artwork that we've seen in the game itself. It's just such good design that I want to see like other media around it. But for now, we're going to be playing with Mai, who is the representative of agility and intellect together, as close to the blue-red analog as I could possibly find. And honestly, just look at her. Isn't she adorable? And she's a classic retro gamer with this Game Boy on her belt. How could I say no? A randomly generated agility intellect deck. What could go wrong? Alrighty, so Skyweaver, the blockchain card game. Looks like we're up against another agility player, but they're playing agility hearts, kind of like black in Magic and Shadow Isles and Runeterra. I gotta say, I love the way that they do the mulligans in this game. So you get 7 cards and you choose which 4 you want to keep. And I think I love this curve. Oh, but Flurry's really good. No, I am actually going to stay in this faster curve. Don't. I actually think I'm going to be quite... So, the cards all have their own relevant effects and triggers, as you'd expect in a card game, and so with Glory, it triggers when it hits their face, and Stealth means they need to damage her before they can attack it. And with Glory, readies her so she can attack again. That's why I played her out first. Wow. She has Stealth as well, so try and read into that to be able to just like loot Ritual, which is a strong kill spell, but we'll see how this goes. They're being very incentivized to try and kill this. It's just very easy to do, it'll trade up very well. There's a lot of really interesting effects in this game as well, like it's not going to punish you for being out of cards in deck, it'll make you lose life, especially if it creates cards that are of a certain element or prism that aren't in your deck. It'll conjure them, but you take a damage whenever you do. Sure. Good thing is Fate means that even if they do want to attack into her, I still get a draw a dark card. Righty then. What are the effects on this? That's the top 2 dead cards. Yeah, we gotta eliminate this. I think we need Shredder to kill this. Because that card's just gonna keep growing. Attack with you. Attack. Readies you again for another attack. Your hand has fire, which it does. And it does in 2 ways actually, so we are gonna play Cinder. This is a very stealthy deck and a 3 power Wither guy. Wither's just like Wither in Magic, it'll reduce their power and their attack and defense, their power and toughness by 3, or what damage it takes. Fireballs, a 9 mana Wither spell deals 9 to enemy, 1 to other enemies with Wither. Wow. Be a way to climb out the game. Yeah. Fireball. I hate against Fireball, don't add it to hand. Yeah, so with enchants they just go on the cards sometimes, like having spell cards, but also on your creatures. Those can't gain health. I have no lifesteal effects in my hand, but what I'm doing is going to play Monk Noodles. And what's the effect? Noodles is going to make him attack into this. This is the power of agility. It's very fast paced. We've been able to aggro very well. They're on agility and heart as well, so heart is just like a lot of sacrifice effects. And yeah, so they gave blind information from cards in hand here from C Shore. And resurrection effects with Phoenix. I got that card back, yeah. Ew. And then, oh, Bambi. Yeah, so I think this has got to go. A lot of damage to try and attack into that though. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it was the power of Gale, man. Carried by the angel who could make my hero attack twice. It was quite a spicy one. Pleased to beat you, the B. Emery. Let's go for another one. The rematch. We absolutely love this card, but it's not great. It's so early. Gatto's good. It's not a great draw. Right like that. We can mana potion to knock this out. We're doing banner. Well, it's banner either way. Like that and attack them for 2. Water rune. Yeah, the runes are really interesting. They're a banner spell. It gives you a positive effect or then a negative effect. Octo Mage is back. We'll definitely play out the lizard. And we'll put Vapors. No, we won't. We're going to pass because we sequence wrong. It's a permanent banner while this is on the board, sure, but you want to play your banner spells out because the effect only lasts 1 round. Interesting. So with this Canopy Archer I can go do this -1/-1, actually, or unless I want to kill this, there's no any death effects. Oh, it's the exact same card. Yeah, knock this out then. Lay a water rune on this so that our character can knock them out. Do a 1 to face. We're down on life and down on cards, but we're ahead on board. It's pretty handy in a game like this. I just love the art style in this game. It's Just very cartoonish, but still very detailed and stylized. Yeah, this card needs to be dealt with. I've played a lot with this. It's quite powerful. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to cash in Vapors. Play Dr. Vile. Reveal the stealth guys and knock this out. Because Nocturna ignores guards, so she'll just keep attacking my face every single start of their turn and gaining them life every 2, so it's important to deal with that in the boot. Surprised there's an intellect card actually. It's making 3 cantrips, 3 1-mana attack and I draw a card. Not that I'm much pressed in allies right now. They're not encouraged to attack into it though, because they're going to be losing their guys at the same time. X triggers on sunset, that's fine. Sure. To their units. It's going to remove the fate on this, but it's also going to give them 1-cost spells per se. Still think it's worth doing. Ruin puppet strings. From reprisal. So I think I am gonna shroud my guy so they can't use that kill spell on it and get in at them for 2. Not gonna use these vile vials yet. It's to an ally. Could do it to face, but we're not that pressed for cards yet. Yep, so I think we can play Rage Cage into Nocturna, draw a light card. Yeah. The good thing is we can just cash in this flame so that she doesn't make any extra damage. Yeah, and they're going to try and deal with my Nocturna. See? Dealing with it profitably as well, pretty good for them. Whoa, 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 whoa. They're starting to close the distance. Right, 4-cost spell. Okay, so Octomage is only going to draw Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So when you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand, the leftmost card in your hand goes back to deck and you draw a new one instead. I would quite like it if Runeterra did that, if it obliterated the oldest card in your deck instead of the card fresh off the top. Yeah, I think having 2 guards would be decent. And we can dust this to get an earth spell so we can attack in. Mulch. Yep, we can use it to kill this and get another guard. That was a pretty good turn for us. And next time we can probably use one of these vials on the Elderwood if they don't kill it, which they probably will. Even though it's like lane-to-lane combat and there's no instance either, it's all trying to get as much value as you possibly can on your turn. So there's a lot of board measuring in this game, which makes it quite interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's fine. Yep, as I expected, they were going to take down all the guards. And they held on to their mana philosopher in a age. We can't play this right now, our hand's too full. No, I think Octomage is probably best. Then we can speed boots her. Shield our hero so they don't take much combat damage from this onslaught. It's your turn. These vials are really filling up our hand, which is not great, but we don't have the manas, we have the guys to sacrifice to it. Well, now that she's got barrier, we could probably just play one off the top of the back next turn. Or not, you know, whatever. Ajani, sure. Don't love doing this, but I kind of want the options. God, very nice. Win it. So this is free now, and this costs 4. Not bad. Get a little bit of life back, keep crunching in, because this has guards to this lonely, and that's automatically trade. Because their hands full of vials too. We're in a good spot. Johnny's back, it's got zap. Yep. Yep. Well, I'll have 11 mana next turn, and the interesting thing is that this counter for mana will go up forever. It won't just stop at like 10 or 12 or anything, it will keep going into however long the game goes. find some way to deal with this. When I play this, this is going to conjure a 1-cost guy and a 3-cost guy, but I still think... Oh wow. Minor misplace. I thought that was a... I thought this was a dark spell. It doesn't have a... It's a metal spell. That may cost me the game. That really may cost me the game. Yeah, they've got it. They just attack both of these for 15. Whoops. I don't think that misplay really cost me it. I think it was not knowing to sequence the dark spells properly. You see the levels of intricacies and details in the gameplay to be able to leverage every possible option, and the elements on top of the prisms leads to some really complicated board states like that one was. I really could have had that, and I know there are probably many who are watching like, as I was when I first saw playing this game, but I'm still very interested in it, and time will tell. It will be coming further and further here to the hostile atmosphere, but thanks for watching. Like, if you like what you see, and subscribe if you want to see more, but until next time, read the carding, explain the carding, live free and play well.